what is the definition of Islam and what is the definition of a Muslim? So that's like the most basic question that I can ask you. Let's start off that and I can build on it, right? I will build on it, inshallah. What do you think inshallah means? Yeah, if God wills, very good. Okay, so go ahead. Who can provide a simple definition of what Islam is based upon your reading? Is that a fair question? There you go, Dr. Joanne approved that. With the raise of hand, who would like to go? I'm not sure if you have any prizes. No? Brother Abdul Qadir, any prizes for them? Okay, Wahil, he's pointing towards some special bags for you guys, right? Some surprise bags that he brought, custom made. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, what is it like?
What is Islam? Yeah.
Is it like the group of people that follow the teachings of Muhammad the Prophet? I forgot his last name.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. That is close, but let's have one more person perhaps. Go for it. Anyone else? It's not a trick question. Okay, don't worry. It's a simple question, right? So go ahead. Anyone else who would like to give one more definition of what Islam is? Yeah, go ahead.
Like bowing down to God.
Okay, so let's combine both the definitions. So what I say is, Islam is an Arabic word that means you're submitting to the Creator. You know, like in college, you obey the instructions of Dr. Joanne, correct? In the same way, when you're obeying the instructions of the teacher or God, the Creator Himself, we say that, so that is Islam, that you're submitting to the Creator, submission to the one Creator, that you don't want to submit to any human or any idol or any animal, that you're submitting only to the one Creator. So that submission to the one Creator in Arabic is Islam. And the followers obviously are called as Muslims. So anyone who submits to the Creator, that person is called as a Muslim. Now, here is a semi-trick question, all right? But I have to ask this question. Who do you think is the founder of Islam? And there would be silence because I said semi-trick question, all right? There you go, but take a shot, right? Take a shot. Yeah. Abraham. Well, let's have one more shot. Okay, who else? Front row guys, come on.
Was it Muhammad?
Was it Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him? Okay, let's take one more.
Was it the archangel? I'm pretty sure is it Gabriel?
Gabriel?
Gabriel that told basically told the Quran, the Quran to Muhammad.
That is true. Okay, so let's come back again to that question. Who is the founder of Islam? I think in your book it does say Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And it does say in the 7th century. And it does say that angel Gabriel came to bring the revelation to Muhammad, peace be upon him. And he memorized the Quran. He passed the Quran to his people. And then many followers started to follow the message. That's partially true. All right. However, the bigger picture is this. What Muslims we say, or what the Quran says is that, there is a one Creator. In Arabic, this is the word for the Creator. What is the word for the Creator in Arabic? Allah, right? Yes. Just like in Hebrew language, the name for the Creator is Jehovah, Yahweh, Elohim. Just like in Spanish language, what is the name for the Creator? Dios. English, it is God or the Creator. In the language of Jesus, his language was, what was his language? Aramaic language. In that language, the name for the Creator is Ilah or Allah. In the same way, the name for the Creator in Arabic is Allah. So what we say is that Allah is not only the God of the Arab people, the Middle Eastern people, the Indian, Pakistani people. We say that Allah is the universal God in the Arabic language. So I am a Bible collector, all right? I have 300 Bibles in my collection. There you go.
That's amazing.
Yeah. My wife doesn't say so. Okay. All right, all the Bibles are occupying the whole basement almost, right? After Kindle, I'm purchasing only Kindle books nowadays, all right? So anyway, so one of the Bibles which I have is in Arabic language, means the translation of the Bible in Arabic. Now, if you go to the very first chapter, chapter number 1, Genesis chapter 1, verse number 1, it says in Arabic, in the beginning, Allah created the heavens and the earth. The word Allah is there in the Bible. So anytime the word God is there in the English Bible, the word Allah is there in the Arabic Bible. Just to signify that Allah is the universal God, in Arabic language, that's what the Christians and the Jews whose native tongue is Arabic, that's what they call God with, that language, right? That word, Allah. So anyway, so what we say is that Allah has wonderful attributes. We say God is one. We say God is all powerful. You know, He made the whole universe. That means He has to be powerful. We say that God is independent. You know, Muslims are fasting, but very soon, maybe 3 hours, approximately 7 p.m., we'll be breaking our fast. That means we are dependent on food, all of us, right? And oxygen, we get tired. So we say that God is independent. Then we say that God is a merciful, forgiving, loving creator. So for the love of humanity, God, according to Islam, did not come down and become a human. We say that God did not come down and become an animal or part of the creation. God remained God, and from the humans, He appointed messengers and prophets. I hope all of you are following the sequence. So what we say is that when God created the very first man, Adam, and his wife, Eve, God did not, He did not leave them alone on their own human shortcoming. So from the very beginning, what Islam says is that God started to send guidance to Adam and Eve, and then also to their progeny. And the main crux of the guidance was humanity should not worship any human, any animal, any creation, but they should only submit to one God. So that submission to one God in Arabic is Islam, right? So in that sense, we say that Islam was given initially to Adam and his progeny. There you go. No longer 7th century, right? All the way to Adam. Then what we say is that, what Islam says, what the Quran says, is that then God appointed many prophets, many messengers all throughout history. So based upon what you read on your chapter on Islam, can you guys name some of the prophets that we Muslims believe in? Go for it. Yeah, so Jesus is a prophet of Islam. Who else? Who would we consider as the last prophet? Muhammad, peace be upon him. Okay, so give me some more. Moses, yes. You know, in fact, you guys would be surprised that the most mentioned prophet by name is none other than Moses. Yes. Surprised? So the greatest prophet of the Old Testament is the most mentioned prophet by name in the whole Quran, 136 times. On the other side, on the flip side, one of the least mentioned prophet in the Quran by name is none other than Muhammad, peace be upon him. Surprise? Yeah. So then we have other prophets, right? We have Abraham, we have Noah, we have Joseph, Isaac, Ishmael, David, Solomon, and many prophets. So the Quran has the names of approximately 25 prophets. But the Quran also says in chapter 16, verse number 36, that God appointed messengers and prophets to all the nations of the past and gave them one fundamental belief, that go and tell to your people that humanity should only worship one God. So in that sense, we say that submission to one God was given to all the prophets and all the messengers, culminating with the last one, who is Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So quickly, right? Quickly, then I want to take as many questions because Dr. Joanne, she said you have many questions. So what we say is that God also appointed certain books. You know, just like you have study guides, just like you have resources for any class, we say the resource that God has given, the study guide that God has given for humanity's guidance, God has given many times in the past to many prophets of the past. So to Prophet Abraham, we say a study guide was given, the scrolls were given to him so he can share with his people. Then we say that Moses was given a special book called as the Torah that we believe in. Then we say that David was given a book and Jesus was given a book. So we as Muslims, we have to believe in all of those books that were given to the previous prophets. But those books in the original form, but not in the form that they are in. Because God in His wisdom, He wants to appoint the final Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, with the final book, which is, what is the name of that book that we go to? Yeah, the Quran. Yes. So we say that the Quran came for all of humanity and all of time, and God took the responsibility, the commitment that He will protect it, that it will not go through any changes unlike the previous books. So what does the Quran has? The Quran has guidance for humanity. The Quran speaks about who God is and who God is not. The Quran speaks about what is the purpose of life, that we should worship the Creator. The Quran speaks about what are the solutions for humanity's problems. Solutions regarding racism and gambling, homicide and suicide and breakdown of the family structure, right? Drug problem, intoxicants, any problem humanity is going through, you will find solutions. Detailed solutions, workable solutions in the Quran and in the example of Muhammad, peace be upon him. And last but not the least, the Quran also speaks about how can a person, after they pass away, go to paradise.